Does BBL leak? Does BBL smell? People often ask strange questions about Brazilian butt lifts. But the real question people should be asking is this: why are more people dying from these procedures? In Nigeria, several deaths have been linked to body enhancement surgeries in recent years. Yet, in many of these tragic cases, the clinics involved continue operating as usual while grieving families are left without answers, accountability, or compensation. In today's episode, we will examine 4 real cases of BBL horror stories from Nigeria. For context, most of these cases have not been decided in court, so most of the details presented are allegations. Now let's begin. A Brazilian butt lift BBL is a procedure that uses liposuction to harvest fat from areas like the abdomen or thighs and reinjects it into the buttocks to enhance shape and volume. In recent years, there has been a disturbing rise in deaths during or shortly after body enhancement procedures. And when these tragedies happen, very few families ever report receiving compensation or justice. Let's start with case number 4, which is that of Elena Jessica, a popular Nigerian socialite and influencer who died after complications from a BBL procedure in 2026. The surgery was reportedly performed at Sinosure Aesthetic Plastic Surgery Hospital in Lagos. The influencer underwent her first BBL procedure on February 6, 2026, but started to experience pain and discomfort 2 days later. Medical tests conducted later showed that her white blood cell count was dangerously high and her blood levels were very low, forcing doctors to administer 5 pints of blood. Despite antibiotics, her condition continued to deteriorate. Her buttocks, hips, and calves became swollen, tight, red, and inflamed. Doctors reportedly suspected that too much fat had been injected, which may have affected blood circulation. On February 13, surgeons carried out another procedure to remove some of the injected fat and inserted drainage tubes, but her condition did not improve. According to the family, the clinic later arranged to transfer her to Lagos University Teaching Hospital, LUTH, on February 19. However, when they arrived, they discovered that no ICU bed had been secured. Jessica reportedly remained inside the ambulance for about 5 hours, crying in severe pain, while her sisters searched desperately for her hospital bed. Eventually, they were directed to ML Hospital in Festac, where the family paid 1.5 million naira for 1 day in the intensive care unit. The family said that no plastic surgeon had attended to her case there, forcing them to move her again the following day to another hospital where a specialist was available. At the new hospital, doctors diagnosed her with a life-threatening blood infection. The family was asked to pay 6 million naira to cover ICU care and surgery to remove the infected fat. To raise the money, the family said they sold personal belongings. On February 22, doctors carried out another major surgery to remove the infected fat from her hips, buttocks, and calves. She remained in intensive care with open wounds while doctors continued treatment. Throughout the ordeal, the family claimed that no one from Sinosure contacted them to check on Jessica's condition. Jessica's sister Nelly, who goes by Nella1245 on TikTok, shared tragic news of her death, blaming her sister's death on the medical care she received while at Sinosure Aesthetic Plastic Surgery Hospital. The hospital has disputed these claims. Here is what her sister said of the tragic incident in a moving post. Sinosure has finally killed my sister, Nelly claimed. My sister went to Sinosure and never came back the same. Now she is gone. All I want is answers. All I want is justice. They can't silence this. Fly high, my sister. In response to the allegations, Sinosure Aesthetic Plastic Surgery Hospital released a statement which reads, "There has been a deliberate attempt to circulate false and damaging information about our clinic. We owe our clients and the public the truth." The statement continued by saying, despite the significant volume of surgical procedures performed at our facility this year, We have recorded 0 patient deaths to the glory of God. We state this clearly without equivocation. The facility claimed that a patient, presumably Elena, had undergone a surgery elsewhere and sought corrective treatment at Sinosure. Meanwhile, the case triggered widespread debate about the growing trend of cosmetic surgery in Nigeria. The Lagos state government has since launched an investigation through the Health Facilities Monitoring and Accreditation Agency, FMA, to determine the circumstances surrounding Jessica's death. Case number 3 is the tragic death of 36-year-old Mrs. Abiola on August 26, 2024. She died when she went for a butt enlargement injection at a clinic in Lagos. The procedure took place at a clinic located in a plaza in Lekki area of Lagos State. Our private driver was the one who reported the incident to the police after his boss died. He said Elena Abiola asked him to take her to the clinic at around 3 p.m. that fateful day. When they got there, a nurse was instructed by the owner of the clinic, Idara Basi, to inject Elena with a BBL injection. But shortly after receiving the injection, Elena Abiola started gasping for breath and lost consciousness. She was rushed to another nearby hospital but was confirmed dead. But there is a twist to the case. It turns out that the nurse who gave the victim the injection was not a nurse or a medical professional, but a cleaner at the plaza. Her name is Abigail Nampon. On that fateful day, Abigail was contacted by Idara Basi to help open the clinic and inject the victim. The cleaner was arrested, while the doctor was said to be at large at the time of the arrest. There are no new updates out there on this case. It's not reported whether the case was reported in court or if the doctor was apprehended. Lekki is one of the most upscale areas in Lagos, so if a cleaner could administer injections at a clinic there, it raises a troubling question: what might be happening in clinics elsewhere? Before we move to number 2, for many women, the hourglass figure has become a symbol of attractiveness, confidence, and even social status, while clinics now advertise these procedures more openly than ever before. Do you think social media is influencing these decisions? Kindly drop your comments. Case number 2 is the tragic death of Port Harcourt-based socialite Christabel Miriam Gabriel, who died after a hip surgery in Lagos. The hip enhancement procedure took place at Sinosure Aesthetic Plastic Surgery Clinic in Lagos. After her death, social media was flooded with allegations that she died as a result of medical negligence following a hip enhancement surgery in Lagos. Reports online say that she passed away about 4 days after the procedure, and many users quickly blamed the hospital where the surgery was performed. However, the management of the clinic denied the allegations. The surgeon who carried out the procedure claimed the surgery itself was successful, and Christabel showed signs of recovery in the days after the procedure. He stated that on the day of the surgery, she was able to eat and move around. The following day, she reportedly walked to the bathroom and used the restroom without assistance. He added that the clinic has CCTV footage showing her moving around the facility and recovering normally. And by the second day, she was already walking freely without support and remained stable until the day a friend visited her at the clinic. In their defense, the clinic also said it had been operating since around 2017 and it had carried out more than 120 body enhancement procedures and close to 800 cosmetic procedures of various types at the time of the incident without complication or fatalities. Following Gabriel's death on May 31, authorities launched an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the case. Before we go on to the final case, for some, it's about boosting confidence. For others, it's about fitting into a beauty culture that rewards a particular look. But here is the big question: is the pursuit of the perfect body worth the risk that can come with it? Case number 1 is the sad case of Nneka Miriam Libo. Nneka was also known as Sparkle. She was a beauty queen who wanted a body enhancement procedure to improve her chances in pageants. She underwent a fat transfer surgery to enlarge her buttocks on December 31, 2018 at Med Contour Cosmetic Surgery Clinic in Lekki, Lagos, operated by Dr. Anoluwapo Adepoju. Within 24 hours after the surgery, Nneka developed serious breathing difficulties. Nurses at the clinic placed her on oxygen, but her condition continued to worsen. By January 13, 2019, she was rushed in an ambulance from Med Contour to the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Luth. At Luth, doctors discovered severe complications. Medical reports later indicated that fat had entered her lungs, a dangerous condition linked to fat transfer surgeries. She was placed on a ventilator in the intensive care unit. Doctors there performed 2 emergency surgeries to remove infected and decaying fat from her body. Despite these efforts, Nneka remained in a coma for weeks. She eventually died 32 days later from complications linked to the cosmetic procedure. Investigations later raised serious concerns about the surgery. At the time of the procedure, Dr. Anoluwapo Adepoju, who was the surgeon, allegedly was still a house officer and had not been fully registered as a medical practitioner. She only became fully licensed 2 months after Nneka's death. Records also showed that when Med Contour Clinic applied for registration in 2018, the required 5 years of professional experience for operating such a facility had not been met by the doctor. Further allegations emerged about poor surgical standards during the procedure, including improper sterilization and operating room practices. Following Nneka's death, the Lagos State Health Facilities Monitoring and Accreditation Agency (FMA) sealed the clinic. Police later arrested Dr. Anoluwapo Adepoju in July 2019 while she was reportedly still conducting consultations and surgeries at another facility in Lekki. An autopsy later linked Nneka's death to infections and complications from the cosmetic surgery. The case sparked national outrage and intensified scrutiny of cosmetic surgery practices in Nigeria. In May 2024, Dr. Anu, founder of Med Contour Services Limited, was convicted on a 5-count charge, including a refusal to honor an invitation for an investigation into post-body surgery complications and failure to provide investigation documents. She was found guilty and sentenced to a 1-year jail term. However, she was given the option of paying 100,000 naira instead of the jail term. However, Dr. Anu reportedly passed away in late July 2024 after an unidentified and protracted illness. The cases are tragic, but they are not isolated. Across Nigeria and beyond, untrained practitioners and poorly equipped facilities are offering cosmetic procedures at tempting prices. At the same time, weak regulation and limited oversight mean many of these places operate with little accountability. The result? More complications, more medical emergencies, and more deaths. Many of them quietly buried, underreported, or never investigated at all. There is no national database tracking cosmetic surgery deaths, and many procedures are performed in private clinics where complications may never be officially reported. People go in expecting routine beauty procedure, but some never make it home. Behind every headline is a real person, a daughter, a sister, a friend, and families left with questions that may never be fully answered. And while these investigations sometimes begin after these tragedies, accountability is not always guaranteed. Yet, despite the risk, the demand for these procedures continues to grow. Which raises an important question: how many more lives will be lost before stronger oversight and safer medical practices become the standard? Quick question: do you think cosmetic surgery clinics in Nigeria need stricter regulation? What do you think about today's case? Kindly drop your thoughts. Share, like, and subscribe to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.